On today's Live Daily News, an update on the feud in San Angelo. A San Angelo veteran wounded in Ukraine needs your help, and you'll never guess what a former mayor compared short-term rentals to. Plus, the Cover One team continues their tour across the Concho Valley with an interview with Miles head coach Jayson Wilhelm. All this plus more. I'm Yantis Green, and this is Live. But before we get to the news, situated downtown near the Concho River, the recently remodeled Suburban Suites provides an upscale, convenient location for your next business trip. Going to need a long-term stay? Look no further than the Suburban Suites. There you'll find completely renovated suites to make you feel like home. Plus, it's the only hotel just steps away from the McNeese Convention Center. For business or pleasure, choose the upgraded Suburban Suites. And now on to the news. We'll start the show today with an update from yesterday's big story. The beef between Andrew Drew Breezy Bermia and Derek Solo Mason has hit another wall. We told you that Bermia was already in the Tom Green County Jail. Well, now Mason has been arrested. Solo has been charged with assaulting a pregnant woman. Details aren't clear yet. Mason isn't the only one in the drama that police are looking for either. 22-year-old Michael Andros is currently wanted for sexual assault of a child. He allegedly committed the crime back in September and has yet to show back up to court. If you know where Andros is, call Concho Valley Crime Stoppers at 325-657-4333. This wasn't the only crime story today, though. Information was released about Chad George's arrest for possession of child pornography by the Tom Green County Sheriff's Office. More details have been released and have revealed that a cyber tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children helped local law enforcement identify George. In January 2023, George had uploaded 4 images of suspected child pornography onto a cloud storage system. The phone number came back to George and an address on South Ridge Drive in San Angelo. 95 of the images George had were of obvious child pornography, and 25 other images were of George's wife and children, and those images helped identify George as the account holder. The 4 images uploaded were of children ages 3 to 8 in sexual poses or sexual performance. George is in the Tom Green County Jail being held on $250,000 bond. And a San Angelo Central High School graduate is currently fighting for his life after suffering serious injuries from an IED explosion in Ukraine. Michael Montoya is a former Marine who now volunteers as an explosives diffuser across the world. On June 7th, Montoya was diffusing mines in farmland that turned into a minefield when one blew up. He was rushed to a hospital there and is recovering, but will need surgery. The family has set up a GoFundMe account to help pay to get Monty home and for a surgeon. The GoFundMe is in the story on sanangelolive.com, so check that out there. Also today, former Mayor San Angelo J.W. Lone wrote an op-ed about short-term rentals, and you'll never guess what he compared them to. In the article, he says, and I quote, "Short-term rentals, STRs, have become a civic STD. Short-term rentals within residential areas are not healthy. They deplete access to affordable housing, threaten the stability of neighborhoods by undermining the reasonable expectation of zoning, and diminish quality of life for affected residents." Of course, we told you earlier in the week that the San Angelo City Council was dealing with a permitting issue for an Airbnb at Lake Nasworthy. To read his full column, check it out exclusively on sanangelolive.com. And for weather this weekend, get ready because this weekend is going to be a hot one. Today marked the first of several days where temperatures in the Concho Valley will hit that 100-degree mark. The hottest day of the weekend will be Sunday with a high of about 103 degrees, but by next Thursday, the National Weather Service says a temperature will reach 105 degrees that afternoon. Stay tuned and check back with San Angelo Live for weather updates, including any heat advisories or excessive heat warnings that will be issued over the next week. And finally, the Wall Hawks are heading to the state championship. Ryan Chadwick is in Round Rock with details, but before we get to him, here is a message from Jim Bass Ford.
We know you're looking for a truck. And of course, you're looking for a great deal. We've got the trucks and we've got the deals. Get a brand new 2023 Ford F-150 STX 4x4, just $475 per month. Right now, you can choose from several different colors, and you can only find these at Jim Bass Ford, Houston Hart at Arden Road, or 24/7 at jimbassford.com.
All right, I'm here with head coach of the Wall Hawks, Jayson Wilhelm. Coach, the Hawks just won their state semifinal matchup 5-1. Really dominating game, start to finish, especially after Luke couldn't go. Kellen really came in, stepped up, threw an amazing game. Just talk about your freshman pitcher for a minute.
Just off the game script early on, and these kids have everything and anything that's been thrown in their direction, and they've responded in a positive way all year long. And hopefully with Luke, things are good. Kellen stepped right into the fire, and he competed like he has all year long, and gave us a chance to win, and threw strikes. That was the big thing, throwing strikes and letting his defense work behind him, and that's what we did, and we were able to get some runs across the board to hold on for it.
And Coach, y'all were a little bit more quiet than usual, like offensively, but it seemed like when y'all needed a hit, you got one.
Yeah, there were some times that we had opportunities to add runs, but you got to tip your hat to the guys at London. That's 5 runs on a team like that hasn't been done very often this year, and so I knew the runs were going to be hard to come by, and they were for sure. And luckily those. Caleb Braden's big hit at the end kind of gave us those extra insurance runs needed there at the end to kind of give us some relief there.
And Coach, you came out and talked to Dylan twice on the mound there at the end. What was your message to him and the guys about finishing this game?
He was just finishing up in the zone, and the guy behind the plate was not going to give us that call. It'd been tight zone a lot throughout the game, and so I was just trying to tell him to relax, stay back over the rubber, stayed up and down, and get extended out, and more than anything, just relax and let our defense work for us. And he was able to get the final out.
And Coach, of course, tomorrow, final game of the season, one way or another. What are you saying to your guys?
It's the same message I've given them all year long. We go be us. We need to be us, and whatever it throws at us, we'll be ready to respond to any and everything.
All right, well, again, this has been head coach of the Wall Hawks, Jayson Wilhelm. Congratulations on the state semifinal win, Coach.
Thank you, sir.
Cleaning has never been more essential, and our health has never been more precious. Yet with rising costs, we are having to make hard choices when it comes to buying essentials. Carpet Tech wants to help you maintain a clean and healthy home and afford other essentials like fuel and groceries. So we're giving away a $250 prepaid gift card every week. Anyone who books any Carpet Tech cleaning appointment is entered to win. Even in this economy, we hope an extra $250 will make a difference.
3, 2, 1. And welcome back to the show. Of course, it is Friday, and the Cover One crew is touring across the Concho Valley, interviewing football coaches ahead of this upcoming season. First, I want to bring on the rest of my crew of Chadwick and James. Guys, how's it going?
It's going. Glad to be here.
All right, so we have the head coach of the Miles Bulldogs, James. I want you to bring this in. Tell me everything that everyone needs to know before we get to it.
All right, we got head coach Jayson Wilhelm. He's the Miles Bulldogs head coach. Last year, their offense put up crazy amounts of points. Their quarterback put up like 55 touchdowns. Haven Book, he's special. He's coming back. They got some speed out there on defense, some speed on offense. And Coach Wilhelm, what do you think about your team so far, just going into this next year?
Oh, we're excited about it. Last year was good for us. It was kind of one of those things, a new offense coming in. We had the quarterback to run the show and do it. Good skill guys. I thought, for 1 year learning the new offense, I thought we had a great season. Ended a little sooner than maybe we thought we should have, but we've had a great spring, summer. We're looking forward to this summer. I think we played a lot of sophomores, so it's just that time of year right now. I think every school, every coach has a level of excitement. Whether whatever level that is. Hey, we want to get in the win column, or hey, we want to go 500 or whatever. But I think for us this year, it's one of those we're excited because I think our expectations now have changed, and we want to make a deep playoff run.
And I'll tell you, me and Chadwick were out at that playoff game against Sterling City, and it was a good fought game. And one of the reasons it was so exciting was because of your quarterback. I mean, Haven was just incredible that game and was all season. So I want to talk about this upcoming season. What should we expect from him, and how much has he, I guess, progressed during this offseason?
Oh, he's progressed immensely. He's grown up. He's matured. I think he knows that he has the reins of that offense, and he's a leader for us. He had a great basketball season for us. He had a great baseball season, track season. He just excelled at everything he did. As well did some others, but I think he's excited about this season. I think he's excited about the possibilities. He knows he's got a lot of weapons around him. He doesn't, it doesn't have to be just him all the time. We've got experience coming back in the backfield as well. That'll take some of the pressure off of him. So I really think it's an opportunity for us, kind of pin our ears back and have fun with it. So yeah, I think he's excited.
And Coach, you're talking, of course, like Haven Book's super athletic and talk about how dangerous he is, but what's another playmaker that all the fans out there need to watch out for this season, whether it be offensive or defensive? It could be a guy on the line, it could be one of the linebackers, a receiver, something. Who's another guy that we need to watch out for?
I think in the backfield, Tevin Medina returns. We had 3 running backs last year. 2 of those guys graduate. Devin's going to get a bulk of those carries. I think, therefore, I expect him to have a big season. He's also a great receiver out of the backfield. So, I think he's due for a really big season, and Manuel Torres, I think, will be the next guy offensively. We graduate Carson. I anticipate Manuel filling into that spot. A little bit faster guy, a little bit more explosive. So, Haven's going to learn to trust those guys a little bit. I think those 2 could have big years for us.
And then, of course, probably the highest kid on our Cover 1 All-Star team that didn't graduate was Cooper Ellison. So, I mean, how is he looking? Is he looking to be y'all's number 1 receiver?
I think so. I think as far as probably our biggest receiver. He's got a little bit of height to him, and he's strong. He's got great hands. So I think utilize him in ways that maybe we used Carson last year. I think he can definitely be one of those guys for us. I think he was almost a 600-yard receiver last year, and he could easily be a 1,000-yard guy this year, I think.
All right, we talked about the offense. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball. Colton Kelly, great player. Lane Godfrey, great player. Who's the guy on defense that you think is just gonna have a spectacular year this year?
Like I say, defensively, we know we've got to get better there, and we're going to get better. Lane Godfrey is a special kid. He was our leading tackler last year, and he didn't start for us. So I don't know if that kind of maybe tells you a little bit about how smart I am, but he just has a nose for the football. I mean, he's going to find the football. He's not going to miss a tackle. He's strong, and he loves to play football. He loves to play defense. So I anticipate big things from him. Also, Colton Kelly. He's 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds. He's strong. If we can just get those guys plugged in the right positions, we're going to be good there. Jackson Patillo will play on the other end opposite Colton, and he's 6'2", 6'3", the same kind of deal. So. We're excited about those guys. The guys we talk about on offense, those are the same guys that are going to, be in the secondary for us on defense. So, lots of experience coming back there, and a lot of speed too. So, we're excited about it.
Yeah, maybe not a lot of people. Miles is a small 2A school.
Yeah.
So a lot of those kids play both ways out there.
You got to play both ways out there.
They do.
Yeah. And Coach, not really talking about the players, but as a team at this point, your schedule moving forward. Y'all are going to be pretty good this year, going to really challenge, if not outright win that district championship. But who do you think you have to look out for on that schedule this year? I know you watch a lot of film. Which game do you have circled?
Albany's the big one for sure. Defending state champions, defending district champs. you know, they've still got enough coming back that they're gonna be a favorite to do the same thing again this year. I thought we played well at times against them last year. You know, missed a couple of opportunities maybe to score to keep it a little closer late. But they're obviously the one that I think we have that one circled. You know, our mentality every week though is take it one game at a time, go 1-0 each week. You know, we lost our first game. We had Midland TLCA last year, and they're not playing. We got Kermit, so you know they're 3A Division I. They're going to come to Miles week 1, so I'm kind of excited to kind of see how that one goes for us, because you know they're going to be that's going to be a tough test for us very early. So, but yeah, Albany's the big one for us.
And I mean, I'm sure you talk to every coach in your district, and every coach probably you got scheduled with. How do you think that you guys are going to be stacking up against them this year?
I think we'll be, you know, right where we were last year. Obviously, we want to be a little bit better than we were. I think we have an opportunity to do that. You know, Roscoe's, you know, they're always good. They've got tradition on their side. They'll be tough. Hamlin's the same way. They've got a lot of tradition. I think they won 5 games last year after maybe going 0-10 the previous year. So they've got things headed in the right direction. Albany TLCA, I don't know what they have in the high school, but they had a bunch of kids playing junior high football. They were a young high school team, so you know they've got numbers on their side. So
that's pretty interesting because, of course, you know there's drama with the Midland TLCA, and then we got San Angelo TLCA, which is coming up. So I think that's pretty interesting. When it comes to y'all's offseason, Coach, there's always in every sports story that ends great. There was always a motivator within the team. What about for you guys this offseason? What really pushed your guys and motivated them just to go that extra mile?
I think the game against Sterling City in the playoffs, that one didn't sit real well with us. And credit to Sterling City. I mean, they came out and played hard and won that game. But I think we feel like we didn't play our best game. We know there's areas that we've got to get better at, and we identified those areas. And I think you know that was something in the back of our minds. Really from the night after, you know, the Saturday after that game. I mean, it was one of those things that just it's going to be motivation for sure.
Yeah. And do we think is there a possibility that matchup will come again in this next playoff?
Oh, of course there is. Like I say, Sterling City's still going to have a good football team, and you know, just based off where we finish, you know, hopefully not. I'd like to maybe win the district. I think they've got an opportunity to win their district, but you know, yeah, if it does, you know, we play them early in the season again, so that'll be a big one for us as well.
Yeah, I see them maybe week 3 or 4.
Yes, sir.
You brought up Albany. I mean, they won state last year. Is that how much motivation does that add to your team just to go, hey, we can get these guys here?
Yeah, I think for the last 3 years we've talked about wanting to be at that level. We certainly were not there 3 years ago. We've gradually made progress. The kids have put in the work. We've improved our coaching staff. I think there's a lot of factors, a lot of buy-in with the kids, a lot of wanting to be in the weight room, wanting to be on the track. Those kinds of things that have changed for us. And you know, we've always talked about, you know, kind of as a program, you know, anybody, anytime, anywhere, and I think we're getting to that point now. And I think that would be you know, that would be one of those kind of games that if it can work out for you, that would be, you know, big for the program.
Yeah, that kind of. I'm sorry, my bad. That kind of goes back to something that two things you said to me throughout the year that I look back on a lot was when y'all came back and beat Sterling City in week 2 or 3 last year. You know, you said to me that next week, on bad teams don't have leaders, good teams coaches lead, on great teams players lead, and you also brought up about changing the mentality out there as to learning how to win. You know, how does all that kind of feed in? I mean, do you see that kind of swinging that way out there?
Yeah, definitely. Our kids have, you know, they're going into year 4 now and doing things the way we've been, you know, wanting to get things done, and I think they've seen that, hey man, this works, we can do this, and you know, they're taking the ownership now. You know, it's hard for me to keep them out of the weight room. It's hard for me to keep them off the field. It's hard for me to, you know, not that I want to do that at all, but you know, I mean, it's different. It's definitely changed, and so I think you know, the kids having that mindset really helps us out a bunch. You know, and going back to, you know, we've made the playoffs. We're in the playoffs in everything we do, and really that's what our next hurdle is we got to make that deep playoff run.
And Coach, I'm just going to build off that question just a little bit. just give me your opinion on this. Like, how important is building that kind of culture in a football program? I know you said that y'all are building it at the moment, and especially after last year's playoff loss, that's a great motivator. But once that culture is starting to get established, how important is that for incoming classes moving throughout the years?
Well, I think we're seeing it already. Our young kids are excited. We've got kids that are wanting to get out in the summers. Young kids that want to play 7-on-7. They want to be up there with us. And my first summer, my first year there, that wasn't the case at all. So I think now, they see that. They look up to these older guys, and I think these older guys now are starting to realize a little bit that there's always eyes on you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so on Cover One, we always end the show with a little bit of a final question. So each of us will ask one last question. And they're usually a little bit more fun or a little bit more interesting than just, of course, these average football questions. So, I played a little bit of offensive line in high school, so this is always my favorite question to ask. Every team needs a good offensive line. Coach, name your biggest hog you got, or maybe your meanest one, but just let the people know who they should be watching down there in the trenches.
Well, Colton Kelly's definitely our biggest hog, and he's probably our meanest one also. But Lane Godfrey, he's kind of quiet and silent, but when the lights come on, he's going to find a way to get the job done. But I'm excited about those two guys. They feed off of each other. Right now, we've got them both playing on the same side. Like I say, I think those two guys, they're workout partners. They push each other. They're each other's motivation. So I think when you have that competition amongst, or not even a competition, but just that brotherhood of two guys that hey, we work out together. We play on the same side. They want to dominate. So I'm excited about both of those guys. Definitely getting a whole lot more playing time this year.
And Coach, I'm gonna try to start a little controversy on your team myself.
Yeah.
Talking about how guys are starting to get into other stuff. Y'all had a pretty good track program this year. A bunch of football players were obviously running track. Who's the fastest guy on your team? And is it close? Is it not even close?
It's not close, because he may be the fastest guy in this area is Tevin Mead. So, yeah, he played some defense for us last year. He had a mishap at the district track meter. I really think he might have been running at Austin this year in the 100-meter dash. So we've moved him from slot receiver. He's going to play some running back, try to get him in the right packages and get him out some space or whatever. But, yeah, he can run.
All right, my question's not a football question, but you've been out there at Miles for a few years. What has that community meant to you, and what have you learned about yourself coaching there at Miles?
Oh, man, that's
it's an emotional one.
Deep.
Yeah, there's a lot I could go into there. The community's been supportive. They've been really supportive. I think sometimes when a new person comes in, there's a level of buy-in that has to happen, and I don't mean with just the kids. I think it's got to be, community-wide, school-wide. Someone had told me, your football season sometimes sets the tone for your school year. I do believe that to an extent. I feel like we had a great school year this year. I think, the success that we had, it started in the fall. So, that part has been great. I just think coming in, you always have new ideas, a new way of doing things. And there's resistance at first. I mean, there is. And I think, as long as you stick to your guns and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, this is how we're going to do it, you can be a part of it, or you don't have to be. I think that, that happens. And I think now, I'm loving it. I think the kids are loving it. The buy-in's there. The coaching staff's all on board. We've got great coaches across the board, and I like I say, I think right now we're really setting ourselves up to really enjoy the next few years. I think we're in a really good spot.
All right, well, this has been Coach Jayson Wilhelm. Coach, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Of course, the Miles Bulldogs, y'all went 8-2 next year. From this conversation we're having, I'm thinking maybe we're going to go 8-2 at least. Hopefully we can go 3 or 4 rounds deep. But, Coach, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate y'all having me.
All right, we'll go back to the studio. When it comes to unique pieces you can't find anywhere else, Conno's Diamonds and Coins is your one-stop shop. With over 24 years in the diamond and coin industry, Conno's Diamonds and Coins is West Texas's choice for diamonds, jewelry, coins, silver, and gold. Owner Bill Conno stands by his work and offers free consultations, including estate jewelry. Don't just trust anyone with your valuables. Come see the staff at Condos at 1016 West Beauregard in San Angelo.
And that's it for news, weather, and sports. Have a great weekend, and be sure and join us again Monday for more news, weather, and sports. Till then, for San Angelo Live, I'm Yantis Green.